welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel, and as always, we have a very special guest for you. She's no stranger to the Beyond Focus TV family. Her name is Kimberly Peeler-Allan. She's the Executive Director of the Fund for Public Advocacy. She'll be my guest for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Miles, and I am Miss Caribbean United States 2013, and you're watching Beyond Focus TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and my guest tonight is none other than Kimberly Peeler-Allan. She's the Executive Director of the Fund for Public Advocacy. We had her on earlier in the year. Kimberly, welcome back to Beyond Focus TV.
Thank you so much for having me back. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, it's great to have someone of your stature here on the show who does such great work in the community, and so much has changed. Actually, your congratulations. I see a baby bump.
Yes, coming in the middle of September, so it's coming up very quickly.
Very, very quickly. So we have a Beyond Focus TV baby here, because when you came a few months back, there was no bump, and now you're ready to give birth. So congratulations to that. I see you've been very busy all around in your personal and professional life. But let's talk about the fund a little bit. Let's recap. For those who aren't familiar with the Fund for Public Advocacy, let's talk about, first of all, what it is.
So the Fund for Public Advocacy is an organization that is an independent 501c3, so you get the tax deduction for any contributions. That was set up in 2002 when public advocate Betsy Gotbaum sued Mayor Bloomberg over the creation of the third term. And unfortunately, he retaliated for her suit and cut the budget for the office. So under Mark Green, her predecessor, he had about $6.2 million in budget. And over the course of the Bloomberg administration, the budget for the office was significantly cut more and more and more, to the point where when Letitia James came into office in January of this year, she had $2.2 million. So it was a cut of $4 million over the span of 12 years. So Public Advocate Gotbaum decided that in order to keep so many of the programs and things going on that the office was no longer able to do because of limitations of staffing and capacity, she set up this independent organization that is privately funded to do the research and convenings and other work that the Public Advocate's office would normally do, but just does not have the capacity. So we are independent from the office, but we work in very close collaboration and in the spirit of the public advocate. So in the initiatives that we've laid out for 2014 and 2015, many of them, it's been a hybrid of continuation of some of the existing programs, blending of some of the programs that had previously been done, as well as taking on some initiatives that are near and dear to Public Advocate James's heart. So that's the fund in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, and it's very well broken down. I'm sure our viewers clearly understand that. But I want to touch upon briefly, you said Bloomberg. Is that really proven that's a direct retaliation? Because you could see over time that we all know that the city, less and less funding went to public services, things that really I don't want to say the less fortunate, but the real people would benefit from.
Sure.
The masses. You saw that.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, it can be directly tied, because the Office of the Public Advocate, unlike the Comptroller's Office or the Mayor's Office or any actually of the other city agencies, the budget for that is not independent. It's not. It is controlled by the mayor and the city council. So each year when the council puts forward their budget, there is a line item for the public advocate's office.
Right.
So the mayor had his budget and put it forward, and with the support of the past speakers, the budget has been taken back. And then I think it was also the initial cut was for Betsy Gotbaum because of the lawsuit. And then when she left office and Bill de Blasio came into office and became very critical of the mayor and began to actively campaign, the budget was cut back even more as retaliation to kind of constrain the activity of the office.
And it was so clearly and evidently done in this manner.
Yeah.
And there's no denying it. I mean, yes, certain things were well done during the Bloomberg administration,
Sure.
and we're not going to knock that. But for other things, you do clearly see. So it's made your task and Letitia James's task a little bit more difficult.
Right.
To get, especially working with the $2.2 million budget from
Right.
6 to 4, now you're at 2.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part in terms of trying to keep certain programs? Did you really have to sit down and lay out a plan and say, okay, there's no way we can keep this, this, and this?
Yes, and one of the things one of the blessings of Mayor de Blasio is that he came out of the public advocate's office, so he knew firsthand the hardship of trying to provide service as a citywide agency to the entire city with just such a small budget. So, you know, though the city is very cash strapped at the moment, he was able to scrape together some money to increase the budget, and I think for the 2014-2015 budget year, they are up to I believe about $3 million. So they were able to get an increase, and hopefully over the next few years, if the economy continues to improve, that increase will continue to go up. And the Public Advocate's Office has begun looking at other things that they can do, including increasing staffing to better serve the people of New York.
That is truly amazing. What would you say is the mission statement? I know originally they have a mission statement, and every time it does change a little bit, but have you been able to stay true to what the original mission was?
Absolutely, absolutely. The mission of the fund is to really serve as a convener and an advocate, using our voice and the power of the office, while also the autonomy of being an independent organization, to really work on issues that are affecting the people of the city of New York.
Absolutely. That's great. And I'm so proud of this because you really do see a lot of great things come out of this. It's one thing to hear about the fund. A lot of people still don't really know about it. You know, it's one of those things you hear public advocate.
Right.
But what is the role of the public advocate?
Right. Right. So the role of the public advocate is to be an ombudsman for the people of the city of New York. If you're having a problem with a city agency or with an administration, you have a place to go. You have an outlet where you have access to caseworkers and attorneys and others who can help assist you navigate through the process. The public advocate is also presides over the city council. It has the ability to, this was just also restored in the new administration. They are now a tie-breaking vote in the city council,
Very good.
if that should ever happen. And basically, the advocate is there to serve as the watchdog on all city agencies, whether it is NYPD, the Department of Education, NYCHA, wherever there needs to be a voice for the voiceless.
Perfect.
That is the public advocate.
Wonderful. Well, hold that thought. Stay right here. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and my guest for the evening is none other than Kimberly Peeler-Allan. She's the Executive Director of the Fund for Public Advocacy. And as we were saying, she was giving us a full recap on what the fund is, how it works. So I hope you all at home are taking great notes of how you can get involved and, of course, benefit from this, because in a nutshell, it really is for them at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our purpose is to serve the people of New York, to provide service and information that you may not be able to get through other channels.
Now, on a daily basis, what types of information questions do you receive?
It runs the full gamut of everything from I'm trying to find housing to what do I do to get my children enrolled in school, how do I sign up for the GED test, everything.
So pretty much any basic questions of how to be a New Yorker, how to benefit from living in New York and taking advantage of the services in a good way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the city government is here to serve its people. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. So if you have a question about that, usually, and this is a question that some of the viewers have sent in, the turnaround time in terms of response.
Generally, it's fairly quick. Between the fund and the Office of the Public Advocate, there are a team of people, and now with the increased budget, there's going to be even more folks who can help answer these questions. But we have the Office of the Public Advocate sees probably 30 or 40 walk-ins every day of people coming in, not to mention the number of calls that come in, and they're all, we try to respond as quickly as we can. I would say within 2 to 3 days at the very most.
Oh, very good.
That you'll hear back something. So
And
it may
that's
not be
good.
completely resolved, but you'll at least know that somebody has taken on the case.
Absolutely, and that's something that's very important because a lot of people tend to shy away when you think of bureaucracies and government agents. Oh, I'm going to go stand there for hours. They're not even going to hear me. It's just going to go into a queue. So I want to reassure everybody that if you do make a request through the Fund of Public Advocacy, that you will be heard. There is
Absolutely.
at least, and that's very reassuring, somebody will take on the case. You will be heard, or they'll at least notify you that it's being worked on. Something is being
And
looked
what
into.
can be done and what can't be done.
Absolutely. That's just so reassuring. Don't you just love when you have positive people on the team to try to make this happen? Let's talk about some of the projects that we have. And there's several projects that are being worked on, but in particular, I wanted to talk about the empowerment project.
So we have put together with a wonderful collaboration, a wonderful team of organizations, a parental empowerment and engagement program. Through some of the work that has happened at the fund over the last few years, we have kind of pulled together various aspects and put together this great program where we are targeting parents who are English language learners or they don't have a high school equivalency, and they have children in the public school system. And working with community-based organizations in the communities where they are to give them the tools and the resources and most importantly, the confidence to be able to effectively advocate and navigate the school system on behalf of their children. Because we recognize that as an English language learner or someone who's had a not so pleasant experience with the school system, having children in the system can be challenging for a myriad of reasons. And by trying to kind of debunk some of the myths, but then also give parents the skills and the knowledge to be able to know how to ask the right questions and what they need to do at home to make sure that they are supporting a conducive environment to support their children, that can really be hugely beneficial to their children for the long term. So we are very, very excited that we're actually in the process of launching that program now, and we are in search of community-based organizations who are doing family literacy work to engage in the process. What we are about to put out an RFP for these organizations to submit their plans of how they could go ahead and do this work. So we put together a list of outcomes that we want the students, the parents, to walk away with. And we'll be releasing that RFP probably right after the start of school in September, for the organizations to come in and say, this is how we're going, this is our proposal of how we will do this, and we're putting together grants so that organizations that generally historically have done this work.
Yes.
But because of budget cuts, they haven't been able to continue this work, that they will now be able to pick this back up and have an impact for some families in their communities and for the betterment of their children and for the school system.
So we're looking to have this program in definitely full swing sometime 2015, 2016.
Yeah, well, actually, sooner than that. Our thought process is that we will be releasing the RFP sometime in September. Organizations will have 30 days to respond, and the programs will likely start in January of 2015.
That is perfect. What about immigrant families who don't speak any English? Their children are American. Their children are born here. This is first generation Americans going through the New York City school system.
Yep, absolutely.
What can we offer for them?
Well, this the parental engagement and empowerment program is perfect for them because we're working with some of the organizations that are at the table that are looking at the RFP responses are the New York Immigration Coalition, the Hispanic Federation, and several other groups that have extensive ties into the immigrant populations, particularly the populations that are not fluent English speakers, because we recognize that so many of those children, they're limited in their success because of their parents' limits in understanding what's going on in the classroom.
Absolutely.
So that is, I would say, probably the best example of what we're doing for English language learners at the moment.
So that would all fall under the same program. Very good, because we do have a large Haitian community. We have Hispanics who watch Beyond Focus TV. So, of course, if Creole or Spanish, it could be Asian, one of the Asian languages, you can get different services in your language.
Exactly. That's why we're partnering with community-based organizations that are on the ground who have contacts and have relationships with the families that are in those communities, so they can directly serve them and provide them with the resources that they need. It may be a group of people who do not speak English, but they're all college educated in their home country. So they have an understanding of how the education system is supposed to work, but they have the language barrier. So they are the community-based organization who works with these families is best able to serve them. And that way we're not doing anything that's cookie cutter. Everything is very tailor-made to the people that we're trying to serve to make sure that we get the best outcome.
Wonderful. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. We still have one more segment right here with Kimberly Peeler-Allan.
My name is Stephanie Miles, and I am Miss Caribbean United States 2013, and you're watching Beyond Focus TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and of course I'm sitting here with Kimberly Peeler-Allan. She's the Executive Director of the Fund for Public Advocacy, and so much is going on, and I think this is such a treat, actually, because the wealth of knowledge that someone who's watching this interview is going home with right now in terms of public education for your child, how to better yourself if you need housing, any little thing that if you're living within, any of the 5 boroughs basically, could take advantage of this. I wanted to talk about a little bit, though, how we can give back in terms of civic engagement and why it's so important to get involved, because if we help the fund can continue to help us. Exactly.
And it's not just the fund, it's government in general. My background has been in politics and working on campaigns and with elected officials for the last 15 years in the city, and I have seen how issue after issue, when an office receives 25 calls on a particular issue, it raises a flag and can really change an elected official's thoughts on a particular issue because they're hearing directly from their constituents. So often I hear of from elected officials that they want to take these strong stances on various issues, but because they haven't heard from their community, they don't feel like they could take that leap. Okay. So it goes both ways. It's not just the elected officials making their own decisions. They are also looking to their constituents
what we want
exactly for guidance because at the end of the day we're the one, they work for us, we put them in office.
Right.
So it is just so important for people to be engaged in the political process. It doesn't mean that everyone needs to go out and run for public office, but know who your elected officials are, know how to get in contact with them if you have a concern about anything, whether it is potholes, whether it is the recent all of the videotapes that are coming out about the NYPD. Voice your concerns, voice your thoughts, and also on the same hand, if your elected official is doing an outstanding job in your eyes, let them know that.
Yes.
Because they need to hear both the criticism and the concern, but they also need to know when they're doing things well, and they're on the right.
Continue that.
Exactly. So I would tell all of your viewers just to figure out who your elected officials are. You can go to the city's website and put in your address, and it can tell you
like your district leader and stuff like that.
Exactly. Your district leader, your city council member, your assembly member, your state senator, your congressional members, and their contact information, and keep that, because everyone needs government at some point in time in life. It doesn't mean that you are looking for a handout or but it may be, I have a pothole in front of my house that needs to be fixed and it hasn't been fixed, and I need to call someone. So who do you call? You call your city council member, and your city council member should be able to get that fixed for you.
Very, very good. Let's talk about 6 months into, we're technically a little more than 6 months into the de Blasio administration, but a good solid 6 months we have under this. Tell us what's changed. We're at the direction that's going. Because some people, we see politics, but we only see it from one side of what the media will really tell us. Because when you're on the other side living it day to day, you don't always get the full scope of things. So why don't you tell us what's going on as an insider?
Sure. Well, I think the biggest change in the first 6 months of the de Blasio administration is just the vibe and the feeling towards all New Yorkers. I think as someone who lives in one of the other boroughs, I don't like to say the outer boroughs, one of the other boroughs other than Manhattan, I think there was a sense under the previous administration that we were kind of forgotten about. And I think this new administration has really taken time to really look at what is going on, in the Rockaways, in the South Bronx, in Staten Island, and in Brooklyn, and really, talk to New Yorkers across the board, across socioeconomic, the full socioeconomic spectrum, to see what's needed, what needs to happen, what is going well, what needs to be fixed. And I think that ear has not leaned towards us in quite some time. So I think that is probably the biggest change. We now have someone who's willing to listen to
absolutely
to a wider net of people.
Absolutely. And of course, let's reiterate that the fund is a 501c3.
Yes.
Which means for you at home that you are able to help support the fund if you're taking advantage of the services, if you're happy with the services, if you'd like to benefit from the services. It can't continue just by itself. So why don't you let everybody know how they can donate?
Absolutely. Checks can be mailed to the Fund for Public Advocacy and mailed to 1 Center Street, 15th floor, New York, 10007. Or you can go on to our website, thefundforpublicadvocacy.org, and click on the donate button, which is on the right-hand corner, and click and make the contribution by PayPal.
Oh, right. You're on PayPal, okay?
Yes.
So you see, even easier, because someone like me, I don't use checks anymore.
Exactly.
I haven't used a check in years, but I do have a PayPal account.
There you go.
So that could work. So if you want to go onto the website, what's the website again?
the Fund for Public Advocacy.org.
Okay, so it's the fund for publicadvocacy.org. We'll love to have everybody do a small contribution, whatever you can. It's going to help. Right now, what's the target goal? Of course, we know the more the merrier, but how much does it really take to get this fully going?
To fund the 5 programs that we've laid out for the 2014-2015 year, it's going to take about $2 million.
Okay.
So it's a lot, but just to get things going, every contribution helps. Whether that is helping us, send out some emails or some stamps or getting a phone tree going, everything, every penny helps.
Okay.
And we appreciate any support that we get.
Well, Kimberly, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I love having you on the program because you give us such a wealth of information, and it's truly a pleasure. We'll have to have you post-baby. Okay, come back. We'll probably have little man on the show too. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, do send it to info@beyondfocusmedia.com. And our guest for the evening was none other than Kimberly Peeler-Allan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me back.
All right, if you're watching Beyond Focus TV, stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.